Adrian out in California. I was a marine drill instructor out here at Parasonic.
Thank you for your service.
I trained every recruit, regardless of religion, race, color.
Okay, now can I answer? Can I answer? Okay. I heard you. Can I answer? Do you want to? Are you going to let me answer? This is America. I get to answer back. You listen to me. I heard you. Now, wait a minute. I heard your speech. They heard your speech. You listen to me now. Do I have a right to answer? I'm not your commander-in-chief anymore, but if I were, I'd tell you to be more polite. Sit down. Let me see. Do you have, wait. Do you have the courage to listen to my answer? Don't throw him out. If he'll shut up and listen to my answer, I'll answer it. Look, can I just tell you something? That's what's wrong. His mind has been poisoned by lies, and he won't listen. So I will tell you. All right, wait. Yes? Will you give me a chance to answer? Will you give me a chance? No. Let me just tell you. Let's go through it. Will you listen to me? Whoa. Why are you afraid to listen to my answer? Why are you afraid? All right, so, no, leave her alone. Leave her alone. I wish you weren't. That is not true. All right, let's go through. Whoa. Let's go through. You remember, first of all, that two of the people who died. Shh. Let's go back through the facts. Two of the people who died were CIA contractors who were former military veterans who were there trying to protect people in Benghazi. Two of the people who died were our ambassador to Libya and his aide. The ambassador to Libya was a personal friend of Hillary's. You can imagine how she feels when people make these charges. The implication is that somehow she should have known all about that and forbidden them to go. Chris Stevens, the ambassador, was the most popular non-Libyan in the entire country. When they found his body overcome by smoke inhalation, Libyans rushed him to the hospital. And he didn't survive. And she, believe me, lost a lot of sleep over it. So what happened after that? As opposed to the people who were here and who don't want to hear the answer. She impaneled a group of experts and said this would be the second after-action report ever made public. The first one, when I did the same thing, and many more people were killed when Al-Qaeda bombed our embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. You remember that? I made our report public. I wanted everybody in America to know what happened. So did she. Not the sort of thing you would do if you were guilty, is it? Yeah, right. So this panel issued a very tough report and said, here are 29 recommendations to make sure that we minimize the chances of this happening again. And they found, as a matter of fact, that she was not personally responsible for any security shortcomings. Number one, because she had nothing to do with the CIA contractors. And number two, because no Secretary of State has ever made those specific security determinations. But she said, never mind, I'll take responsibility for implementing the changes, and they were working on all of them when she left office. Then the Republicans did what I thought they should have done in the Congress. They had a committee look into it. The House Intelligence Committee, chaired by a Republican from Michigan, who was a straight-up guy, and they found that she was not personally responsible. They agreed with the nonpartisan committee. So then they went to a second committee, something that hadn't been done before. They made the same finding. Then they went to a third committee, something that had never been done. They went through 6 committees, and they all found the same thing. Chaired by Republicans, bipartisan, that she was not personally responsible. And so the House Republican leadership said, you guys obviously didn't get the memo here. We are going to do something never done in the history of the Republic. We are going to politicize the deaths of brave Americans because we want to win this next election. So they made the special committee. What happened? For 11 hours, they tried to make her mad. They tried to make her forget. They had their little talking points. They made all these allegations. And I don't know what you thought, but I thought she ate their lunch and proved she ought to be president of the United States. But, as the House Republican leader, Congressman McCarthy from California, said on Fox News, they said, well, you guys haven't done anything you said you do. You hadn't reversed any of this stuff President Obama did. And he said, but look what we did to Hillary Clinton's poll numbers with the special Benghazi committee. In other words, we decided that in the present climate, there are no rules on the national security. Now, when President Reagan was in office, there were four attacks in Lebanon, killing hundreds of Americans, service people and diplomatic people, and lots of Lebanese that work for us over a 16-month period. Tip O'Neill, who was an old-fashioned patriot, allowed one congressional hearing. They analyzed what happened. They made recommendations. The fourth attack was when the CIA station chief was kidnapped and murdered. And President Reagan was asked, why haven't these security recommendations been implemented? And he said, well, you know, sometimes it's like getting your home repaired. They just don't do it on time. Can you imagine what these people would have done to Hillary if she said something like that? But Tip O'Neill said nothing. He refused to play politics with the lives of brave Americans who knew they were in danger. Now, you just have to decide. And I'm really sorry they didn't stay. But one of the problems is we now have overcome so many of our bigotries. We're less racist, we're less sexist, we're less homophobic than we used to be. Americans have one remaining bigotry, and I don't want our party to get there. We just don't want to be around anybody that disagrees with us. So we watch things that will confirm our pre-existing inclinations. And we stand up and scream, but won't listen to people answer. That's why I didn't want those people to leave. For all I know, they've never heard the other side. And you know, so I think it's really sad. They disagree with 6 congressional committees headed by Republicans because they didn't give them the answer they had decided in advance they wanted. And I felt bad because when Congressman McCarthy told the truth, the whole purpose of this was to drive her numbers down because we don't want to have to run against her. And we sure don't want her to be president because she'll make us behave because everything she does, she gets Republican support for. And I felt bad that he couldn't become speaker because he told the truth. And that's the truth. He was next in line to be speaker, and he lost any chance to be speaker in this Congress because he told the truth. And so she's fine about it because she trusts you. So she gives up all of her emails and says, please make them public as soon as possible. I read a great little blog the other day that said, I never really liked Hillary very much until I read her emails. Said, I actually read them all, 1,000 of them. And it made me see what a great public servant she was, how kind she was to the people who worked for her, how she treated people. She's the kind of person we should all want to be president. There's somebody who read the emails. So she said, make them public. Then all of a sudden, all these people that clamor for you to make everything public, they said, this is a real problem, this doesn't make her look bad, so we will come up with the idea of retroactively classifying things that weren't, and claim that somehow magically, when she gets a newspaper article attached to a memo, everybody should have known that. Then it comes out that the Secretary of Defense had actually talked about this. And before it was retroactively classified, the President of the United States had talked about our drone program in Pakistan. So did they go after the people that actively talked about it? Did they go after the people that wrote the newspaper article? No, they go after the only person who just got it in the mail and passed it on to somebody else. What a terrible thing. You don't have to be all broke out with brilliance to figure this out. And I personally resent the fact that we don't have a Congress that behaves the way Tip O'Neill did when those brave Americans were killed in Lebanon by the hundreds. And so I'll say again what I said before. I know that those people in San Bernardino did not represent 99+% of American Muslims. We need everybody to do this. We need to stop screaming at each other. I hope none of you will ever do what those people did. If you go to a Republican event and you stand up and challenge them, be strong enough to stand there quietly and let them have their say. That's America. That's America. And so the last thing I want to say is this. You ought to be for Hillary because she got the national security experience and the domestic experience, but mostly because she's a world-class change maker. And when she left office, she was the most widely admired person in public life. She had the lowest negatives, and all the Republicans said wonderful things about her until they said, oh, we can't demonize President Obama anymore. He's not running for anything. Let's go after her. Maybe we can get the Democrats to vote against her if we just trash her enough. I mean, this is not rocket science. These people are good. But look at the record. When she was Secretary of State, her team negotiated